All right, so I'm going to get into some really easy ones. So the tit for tat thing, we covered that where it's like, here's the issue. Well, let's talk about this, and we never resolve it. I think there should be a beginning and end, like an act in a movie. There's the beginning of the scene, the end of the scene. We close it out, put a nice bow on it, and set it down, and then we can talk about the next thing. I don't like feeling like I'm in a gopher game at the fair, and you pop one, and the next one pops up, and you never resolve anything. It's like a battle of the who has more offenses. So I just wanted to kind of go back.
You forget what we're fighting about.
No, exactly. You literally don't even know where the end point is. And then there are also some people who almost make you feel like, well, we have a list, and my offenses was this high. Yours is only this high. Therefore, you really shouldn't even be talking right now because you don't even have a place to speak because look at all these I let go. So that's enough. Over talking. So I said that there was a way to get me to like, not even level 10, 75, okay? For me, the way I feel intimacy and the way I bond and also the way I woo-saw is through talking. Because that is how I am letting somebody outside of me know what's in my heart, in my mind, and my soul. So if I am taking the opportunity to communicate with you, which I've most likely taken time to think it through, and you don't let me get it all the way out, even if it's for you to say, I know, I got it. That is a problem because sometimes, a lot of times, that's was it not lethargic? That's cathartic. It's cathartic for the soul. It's taking that breath and getting it out. And I think so often couples don't have that patience because one, they feel either guilty or they feel convicted or they feel defensive because they know what they did was wrong. Or maybe they don't feel like what they did was wrong and they're so anxious to plead their case as to why they're not wrong, they rob their partner of a chance to speak. I could be totally wrong. I could say, Tony, I'm so pissed. You parked in the middle of the driveway. You know how much I hate that. And I could be, but you let it let me finish. And then you say, I actually didn't take the car. Your mom was in town and she needed to go to Walmart. And so I let her have the keys. I don't mind moving it, but it wasn't me. But you let me get it off my chest. It doesn't matter that you're wrong or right, but let that person have that. And I think it will take so many arguments off, level 10 and bring it down to like a 2.
Yeah, it would. And it also, the other thing about that is, again, it goes back to fighting fair, and using your scenario, you parked in the middle of the day. I can't believe, and I'm listening. I'm even smiling at this point because I know. Now, here's the opportunity that I think that people in relationships need to consider. This can be although you may be saying some things that really bother me, that I'm being accused of something I didn't do, right? I have the opportunity now to literally turn this conversation into something that could be funny, that could almost be a bonding experience. I have the power to turn the tide, if you will. So what I could do is one of two things. I could take advantage of this situation and turn it into a bonding opportunity to say, babe, I'm not the one that drove the car. Your mom did, and it becomes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's all right, sweetie, and now I let you finish and I let you get it out.
And then almost silly. Yeah.
That this is a lot deeper than the car in the garage or in the driveway, because your level of irritation doesn't match the issue. Mm-hmm. So now I have this opportunity to say, are you okay? Is everything all right? And then it becomes, well, no, it's the cleaners, it's from my shirt, and
Right.
Or I can be malicious and take offense and say, are you done? Are you done? Well, guess what, stupid? I'm not the one that drove the damn, you know what I'm saying? So it may feel good in the moment.
Yes.
Get back. But now we're fighting over the way we speak to each other, and the car is no longer an issue. And what I never found out was there was an underlying issue that fueled that initial, and we never get to that.
Yep.
Because now we're fighting over, you always accusing me of shit, and I ain't doing it, and that's not about,
Yeah.
And I put onus on men, and I know in the group I'm seen sometimes as a simp and all this other stuff, and I own that.
You're a simp who won.
a lot of onus on men, not because I'm on some, weaker sex or leadership thing, but because as men, we're constantly fighting for position as it relates to being the leader. But then when we miss those leadership opportunities, we miss those opportunities to mentor, we miss those opportunities to shape the conversation, shape the relationship. And when they present themselves, we allow our ego to take over. And ego is the biggest enemy of growth, of love, of compassion, of commitment. Ego will have you doing things that will make you look at yourself and go, why did I do that?
Yes.
We're constantly, I can't speak intelligently on women, but as men, we are constantly just shadow boxing with our egos. And I think to be truly enlightened is to, one, recognize that this woman sitting here accusing me of something that I did not do. This is my lady. This is my woman. And my woman is in distress.
Yeah.
My woman is upset. And so I can allow my ego to take over and go, ha ha, you wrong, or I can subdue that and address the issue that my lady is bringing to me. That's leadership.
And the interesting thing is, and I love this, where I say a boss just bosses people around, a leader leads by example.
Right.
You don't even have to say, chill out, you're overreacting. When you are chill and you don't overreact, when you had every right, if you go right or wrong, you had every right to, that is the most humbling thing. I remember dating a guy and he never said anything about me complaining, never. But he never complained. Without him saying a word, simply him not complaining, it made me see how many times I complained. It was like being a mirror because he was so silent. And I don't even know he even thought about it. It might not even bother him. But sometimes just being a leader causes somebody to want to follow because they see, oh, look how in control you are. And in that moment, you feel like you won. The ego feels like I won because I put her in her place. But long term, you win by taking the low. That's a biblical term, taking the low. Let each esteem the other more highly than themselves. And I think that's why it's so helpful when people submit themselves to a higher authority and another human, because you realize it's not about you. And so in that moment, like example, I come in, I'm fussing, I realize it wasn't even you. Now I'm crushed because I just went off on my man unnecessarily. And then when he says, what's wrong? I realized, you know what? I was projecting what happened at the cleaners. The guy jerked me and I brought that trash home. Now I'm able to learn, you know what? Catch myself before when I'm upset, maybe call him in the car, babe, I'm so frustrated. The cleaners did this and da-da-da-da-da. And, it can take a different route. But that's being with a partner who has a higher accountability to someone higher than you. Because if it's just the two of you, it's all about who's right and wrong. Versus if you both agree, put your pride aside, the other person first. You're not looking that way.
I remember that we chose each other.
That's where
concept that so many people forget. Like, I'm here by choice.
Willingly.
I chose you. I pursued you. I wanted to be with you. And so when I deal with you, I have to deal with you according to that concept. So why would I go to war with someone who I made a concerted effort at being with? And so it's, I always say, remember who you're talking to. Not out of, respect, I'm the man.
I remember who you're talking about.
That you chose me. And I have to do the same thing too.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I'm not going to let somebody talk crazy to you. I'm not going to do it. I wish I would. But how can I stand on that when I'm the guy that's talking crazy to you, right? Where's your sense of safety, security? Where's that part of you that feels my man is going to protect me when the biggest threat is him? And And I'm sorry, that is a male thing. And I know there's a lot of brothers who will watch this and go, well, what about the woman? What about her? And we got to stop that, man. You know, I used to be really bad at that. And I'm probably not as good at it as I wish I wanted to be. But, well, what about you? I mean, yeah, I did it, but you do it all the time.
Right. It's almost like this is going to sound patronizing, but I'm just using it as an example, but it's like a parent and a child. And
it is.
the thing is patronizing is because it sounds like, well, you're putting the man up like the parent. But if the child had a temper tantrum and the parent had a temper tantrum back, everyone would look at the parent like, bro, that's a kid. So without being patronizing, it's like saying, just worry about yourself, because you, at the end of the day, are the only person you have to worry about and answer to. And if your response is always, but you did it, that's really silly. I hope that I have enough in me to just hold myself to a level, whether or not you do. And that's why it's so important, going full circle, that you pick somebody who has character and somebody who's not like this, because it's going to be really hard if you keep taking something to the chin and you're with a toxic woman. Because at some point, like if I'm your sister, your blood sister, I'm like, Tony, I'm going to need you to let that girl go. Because you're going to be rising above and taking the high road, and she's constantly, you ain't a real man, and remember what you told me last night? That's not healthy. So these tools that we are talking about are for healthy situations, and so before you get into the situation, make sure that's healthy.